Hey, what's up? Welcome back. This is build update number 11, I believe. These are not so much build updates anymore, but kind of just updates in general. Today, I want to talk about my portfolio website exit. I was able to exit one of my websites for mid five figures. I also want to talk about the March 2024 update that's going on right now, what I'm seeing on my end with some of our client sites, and also talk about the outlook of SEO, like what the future of SEO kind of looks like now that these updates are so frequent. Things are changing so rapidly. I want to give my insight on that and hopefully add some value to your outlook about this whole thing as well. So I think a good place to start today would be the SEO subreddit. If you don't know what's going on, back in the first week of March, there was a core update released by Google. And this core update is designed to kind of target spam in the SERPs. You could see that there are, articles from the 14th, just so last week, kind of outlining what's going on. Google's de-indexing sites completely. They're handing out manual penalties. There are sites that are just kind of, tanking with this update. Now, just keep in mind here when Search Engine Land and the SEO subreddit are talking about these kind of sites, they're talking about a particular type of site, which are content-based websites, in what used to be called niche websites. And these websites focus on a particular subject or a particular industry, particular niche, and they're primarily monetized through ads and display ads and affiliates. They're providing, to get the traffic, what they're doing is they're providing specific information on queries related to that vertical. And through that traffic, they're able to monetize, again, by recommending products with affiliate commissions, or by just displaying ads directly onto the website and getting ad revenue. And so you could just see what's going on in the SEO subreddit. You could see, we're 15 days into this update and things are going from bad to worse. Is anyone else concerned that it's all over? And a lot of people are freaking out. All right. So I was one of those people. I had this site, wildyards.com. I'm happy sharing this site now that it's out of my portfolio. But this site was a site dedicated towards discussing gardening topics, discussing wildlife, and just overall answering queries related to these things. That was a primary keyword strategy. If you've been in this space, you kind of know the evolution of how this came about. But basically, this site targeted keywords that were underserved with specific dedicated pages. So if for example, if there's a keyword like can deer eat carrots or something, usually with those very specific type of keyword searches, you would see Reddit, Quora, maybe deer hunting forums, very old type of user-generated content websites. That was a primary keyword research strategy for this, to target those type of keywords and serve up a dedicated page with an extensive answer. With the helpful content update, this keyword strategy got decimated because they were now favoring sites, and they were actually favoring user-generated content sites like Reddit and Quora and these forums to kind of provide that information. Because I think the basis of that update was that people want information from other people. Although, right, anybody can remain anonymous on Reddit, and anybody can remain anonymous on these forums, and Quora can sometimes just be AI generated now as well. But that was the idea. And I don't have access to the Search Console anymore because obviously I've transferred ownership, but we can take a look at the Ahrefs here and see what that kind of dip off looked like. So looking at a year back, right, you could see that there's a huge rise in traffic throughout last year in springtime. And then right around September, when the helpful content update hit, there's a massive dip off. So, we're talking about like 40,000 according to Ahrefs. This was much higher, but let's say it's 40,000 according to Ahrefs. By the end of September, by October, we're around 15,000 and then hovering around 13,000 for monthly organic traffic, which again, it's not the real numbers, but this is a good kind of reference point as to what that drop off actually looked like. And then, obviously this is the off season. This is a very cyclical kind of has seasonality to it, obviously because it's gardening. So during the winter months, it's dropping off. But now with this March update, you can see that it's tanking even more. There are more keywords that are being dropped out. And, because of this, informational thin sites that provide this kind of information are going to be phased out in the future. Unfortunately, that's my kind of outlook on this. If you're not a serious brand, if you're not doing real marketing, you're going to get phased out. The reason is very simple. So in that example that I was giving with that particular keyword, can deer eat carrots or whatever? If you just go to ChatGPT now and just type in that question, you're going to get a very straightforward answer. And there are millions upon millions of keywords that fit into that same category where it's a very objective, informational type query that ChatGPT can answer with, reasonable certainty that people don't need to read 2,000 words on, right? I mean, it's not 2,000 words when we were publishing that kind of content, but you get the idea. I mean, a lot of those queries are going to be served through ChatGPT and other AI models coming out in the future now. And this need for these kind of content websites are diminishing. And that's why I'm happy to have gotten out and gotten a very nice payout for this. If you're just finding out about this, that you can buy and sell these kind of websites, I suggest you take a look at Empire Flippers. They have a marketplace for online businesses essentially, and you could see that there are huge websites for sale. So like this one is for employment and finance. It's making $75,000 a month. It's up for $3 million. And they're also monetized through affiliates, display advertising, and lead gen. Lead gen, I would assume, is the lion's share of that monthly net profit. But there's e-commerce businesses, there's SaaS, there's Amazon FBAs. So for this, like there's a travel website here as well, also monetized through affiliate display advertising and Amazon Associates, etc. And this is going for $389,000. So in the grand scheme of things, looking at these kind of websites, a mid 5-figure payout is probably not much, but for the time and the resources invested, I walked away profitable, which is always good. And on that note, I think all of this needs to be taken with a grain of salt, because if you have a real business, a real kind of core business that you run and that you do other forms of marketing for, meaning, if not just through SEO, you're doing social media, you're doing, content on YouTube, and Google realizes that you're a brand distributed across the internet, that you're receiving traffic to your website from multiple sources. I think you're relatively safe. Again, it depends on the business type, but in the context of this channel, if you're a local service business, I think this is an opportunity for you to really kill it, because if you're doing everything right, if you're doing the proper off-page SEO and doing some other forms of marketing, I think you're going to be killing it. The reason I say that is, across the board, our clients that we're serving right now, the SEO campaigns that we're doing for them, we're not seeing what's being talked about here on this subreddit. And I've seen TikToks and I've seen other like SEO experts come on here and say that it's over for Google and yeah, XYZ, but they're not really, either they're not doing SEO correctly, or they're just kind of taking this for face value and not comparing the data to what is actually happening. Either that, or they don't have enough data to compare to. So, for example, we have a client that sells pH probes, okay, and pH probes, and when you're searching for pH probes, you could see that this is a huge keyword. It's 8,100 searches a month, and this is an e-commerce type of keyword. All right, and you could see now the Google landscape has changed a lot. You could see that on the left now we have categorizations and filters that were never there before. If you just type in pH probes, they're recommending to you additional keywords that you could filter on. Do you want pH probes for water, or pH probes for soil, etc.? But through all these updates, you could see that that our client is number one here for this e-com based keyword. All right, and this is mostly done through authoritative and topical relevance. Through blog content. If you have been using AI to spam content, you are definitely getting hit this update. All right. The principle here is you kind of need to demonstrate that you're real human writing. So even if you're using AI as a base, I would say you need a human editor to go in and just make those necessary modifications. Even though you might think the AI sounds perfect, there's a certain way AI writes, and there are other ways to go about this that you might be able to tweak the content to make it seem human written. But the best way to do it is to just hand that AI written content, even if it's an outline, over to a human writer, and have that writer write that piece of content. And through that, you're going to be demonstrating topic relevance. Also, because this client, also does traditional marketing. They are doing, they have distributors all across the world. They have references on other websites, selling their products. So, because of all this distribution, this real press, Google is now understanding that they are a true brand for this type of product. And that's really important. I think that's really important, and that's something that every business needs to understand. So what does this mean in terms of like local service businesses? So for instance, local service business, we have a client who mainly focuses on fertility acupuncture. This is a huge keyword. All right, fertility acupuncture is 6,600 searches a month, and you could see that our client here is now, position 5, I believe, for this extremely difficult keyword, and that's because they go on a ton of radio shows and podcasts, and we've advised them to get that link back to their website. So they make that connection with Google, demonstrate their authority. If they're on podcast talking about this topic and Google sees that they are kind of linked back to the website, they're going to give them more relevance and authority for this particular topic, and in turn, this particular keyword. Okay, and just to drive the point home, my baby here, NYC Painters, we're now ranking number 4 through these updates. If you remember in past videos, you can go check it out. We were probably positioned like 9 or 10 down here. There were other websites that were ranking really well, like NY Painters Group, NYC Interior Painters or something like that. Interior Painting NYC. which is crazy to think about, right? So if you remember in one of my past videos, I was talking about EMDs and PMDs, the kind of the value of a strong domain. All right. If you have the keyword NYC painters or any variation of that in your domain name, you're gonna have a ton of strength. And you can see that's what Interior Painting NYC is doing, and like NYC Painters Group is doing, right? NY Painters Group. And even Manhattan Painters as well. If you make that connection, Manhattan Painters would probably be higher. But the fact that Soho Painters does, number one, good SEO, like high quality SEO, and then also tries to get on other platforms to get traffic from, let's say, Instagram at the very least, demonstrates that we're not only just an SEO focused property. And that's going to be even more important moving forward for the future of SEO. I think having an omnipresent approach, an omni-channel approach to your SEO is vital. All right? It's going to be almost an absolute necessity moving forward. And across the board, we're seeing that with our other clients as well, our other acupuncture clients and our other accounting firm clients as well, just absolutely crushing it because we're not taking shortcuts. I mean, number one is once ChatGPT came out, I'm sure there was a ton of agencies that were spamming these articles for their clients, which is not a good test. If anything, you should be testing on your own websites first. But those websites probably got dinged with this latest update because Google, as you can see from what's going on now, I think they're uncertain as well. They're kind of flip-flopping on their algorithm. They're kind of testing new things. And at the end of the day, you have to just realize and remember, Google wants to serve the most legitimate results for any given query. Any given search, they want to serve the most legitimate results, and the only way they can really gauge that is if you are a true business doing things that real businesses would do, and that's investing in marketing, that's making your name known, going out and kind of putting yourself out there, making sure that you're on multiple channels, and then having that all linked back to your website. And look, in the future of SEO, I think it's not changing. People might be scared, like the people on that subreddit might be worried that SEO is over. They've been saying SEO is dead for the past 20 years now. Every year we have this scare where they're saying SEO is dead. In 2024, it might really be the first time people have an actual legitimate argument for this because of AI. But let me ask you this. Between you and me, if I was looking for the best painter in New York City or the best restaurant or the best accountant, you and I have it's subjective. You and I have different standards as to what the best means. I might be looking for quality of service. You might be looking for price. I might be looking for the number of reviews. You might be looking for proximity, right? There's no way that an AI will be able to serve that kind of result to you without knowing your preferences exactly. And until we get there, search cannot die because you have to go through your options to get to that final result. And on that note, I think it's a great time for local service businesses, local businesses to kind of use this as an opportunity. When there's like a lot of uncertainty, people are not spending their marketing on SEO. I think this is a great opportunity to kind of overtake those competitors and really shine through all these updates. And that's done through a quality website. So I just wanted to get on here, just provide an update. I promise I'm gonna be releasing some more web design and SEO related content formally. I just love doing these updates because it really I got nobody to share this with. So I mean it's nice to come on here and at least share it with some of you. So Yeah. Thank you for watching. I hope this was valuable. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below, and look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thanks.